Have you ever found yourself spending hours worrying about things you can't change? Or perhaps you constantly procrastinate on important tasks because you fear discomfort and potential failure. Do you spend sleepless nights replaying past mistakes in your head or fretting about a future that hasn't yet arrived? If at least one of these questions resonates with you, know that you are not alone. These are the traps of thinking that most of us fall into amidst the frantic pace of the 21st century. We live in a world of unprecedented comfort and technology, yet levels of stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction with life are breaking all records. But what if I told you that over 2,000 years ago, a group of philosophers in ancient Greece and Rome had already found an antidote to these mental poisons? They weren't hermits living in caves. Among them were an emperor, like Marcus Aurelius, one of Rome's wealthiest men, like Seneca, and even a former slave who became a great teacher, like Epictetus. Their philosophy, Stoicism, is not a set of abstract ideas, but a practical operating system for the mind, designed to live a meaningful, calm, and strong life amidst chaos. Today, we won't delve into complex theory. Instead, we'll do something far more useful. We will analyze 7 key mistakes that modern people make every day, but which a wise Stoic would avoid at all costs. By examining them, we can see our own problems in a new light and get the tools to solve them. Ready to build your inner fortress? Then let's begin. Mistake number 1, worrying about what is beyond our control. This is perhaps the most fundamental and common mistake. How much mental energy do we spend every day on things we cannot influence in the slightest? We get angry about the weather ruining our weekend plans. We worry about traffic jams. We despair over economic news or political decisions. We agonize over what other people might think of us. Stoics call this the main cause of human suffering. Their central idea, known as the dichotomy of control, is simple yet incredibly profound. Epictetus, a philosopher who went from slave to respected teacher, formulated it this way: some things are within our power, while others are not. Within our power are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, and in a word, whatever are our own actions. Not in our power are body, property, reputation, offices, and in a word, whatever are not our own actions. Imagine you are going for an important interview. What is within your control? Your preparation. You can research the company, rehearse answers to questions, choose appropriate clothing, leave early to avoid being late. Your behavior during the interview. You can be polite, attentive, answer honestly and confidently. This is your area of responsibility. And what is beyond your control? The interviewer's mood, how strong other candidates turn out to be. Perhaps the company suddenly cut its budget and froze hiring altogether. The interviewer's biased opinion about your university. Thousands of factors. Modern people often focus specifically on the second part. What if they don't like me? What if there's a better candidate than me? They spend all their energy worrying about what they don't control, and as a result, they arrive at the interview tired and insecure. A Stoic would act differently. They would invest 100% of their efforts in what is within their power, in preparation and their own behavior. And the outcome? They would accept the outcome as it is, because it is in the hands of the universe, fate, or chance, whatever you want to call it. As Marcus Aurelius said in his Meditations, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Practical advice. Every time you feel anxious, ask yourself a simple question. Is this completely within my control? If the answer is no, tell yourself, this is not my business, and redirect your energy to what you truly can change, your own actions and reactions. Mistake. 2. Seeking happiness in external things. Our society is built on this mistake. Advertising screams at us, buy this phone and you'll be happy. Social media whispers, get 1 million followers and you'll be significant. Consumer culture asserts, earn more money, buy a bigger house, a faster car. That's when real life begins. We chase external goods, wealth, fame, status, the approval of others, fleeting pleasures. We believe that achieving these goals will automatically bring us peace and satisfaction. But Stoics considered this a most dangerous delusion. Why? Because all these things, as we already established in the first point, are beyond our complete control. Wealth can be lost. Fame is impermanent. The approval of others depends on their mood, not on you. Chasing these is like building a house on sand. Your inner peace will depend on the whims of the external world. Seneca, who was one of the wealthiest men in Rome, wrote to his friend Lucilius, "True happiness consists in virtue. What then will this virtue tell you? Not to consider as good or evil what is neither virtue nor vice. Then, to be steadfast against evil and in pursuit of good, so as to become as like a god as possible. For Stoics, the only true good is virtue. That is wisdom, justice, courage, and moderation. These are qualities of your character, and the only true evil is their opposite: ignorance, injustice, cowardice, intemperance. Everything else, health, money, reputation, are so-called indifferent things. It is better to have them than not, but your happiness and your value as a person do not depend on them. Imagine two people. One is an incredibly successful businessman who has everything: yachts, mansions, recognition. But inside, he constantly fears losing everything, envies competitors, makes deals with his conscience, and cannot build genuine relationships. The other is an ordinary teacher with a modest income. But he is honest, wise, bravely faces difficulties, is kind to his students, and finds joy in developing his own character. Which of them, in your opinion, truly lives a good life? For a Stoic, the answer is obvious. Practical advice: stop making your happiness dependent on external achievements. Instead of asking, "What can I get from the world?" ask, "What kind of person do I want to be?" Focus on developing your character. Be honest when you want to lie. Show courage when you are scared. Be fair when it's not profitable. It is in this, the Stoics said, that true, invulnerable happiness lies. Mistake number 3, living in the past or future, ignoring the present. If only I had acted differently back then. Oh, if only I could turn back time. Familiar thoughts? This is the trap of the past. We replay old grievances, mistakes, and missed opportunities in our heads. The past becomes a heavy burden that we drag behind us, poisoning our present, or the other extreme. When I get a promotion, then I'll truly live. And when I go on vacation, then I'll rest. When the kids grow up, I'll finally focus on myself. This is the trap of the future. We live in constant anticipation of some bright tomorrow when all problems will be solved and happiness will arrive. Meanwhile, real life, the only one we have, passes us by. Seneca dedicated an entire treatise to this topic, On the Shortness of Life. He wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Life is long enough, and a sufficiently generous amount has been given to us for the highest achievements if it were all well invested." He argued that people are strange creatures. They guard their money and possessions, but thoughtlessly squander the most valuable resource they have: time. Stoics urged radical presence in the present moment. The past has already happened. Lessons can be learned from it, but living in it is meaningless. The future has not yet arrived. It can be planned, but worrying about it is a waste of energy. The only field for our actions is here and now. Marcus Aurelius, while governing a vast empire, constantly reminded himself of this in his personal diary. Do not let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which arm you against the present. Imagine you are drinking your morning coffee. How do most people do it? With one hand they hold the cup. With the other, they scroll through news on their phone, and their thoughts are already on the meeting an hour away. As a result, they feel neither the taste of the coffee, nor the moment of peace, nor the joy of the morning. They are only physically present, but mentally they are absent. A Stoic, however, would try to fully immerse themselves in this moment, to feel the warmth of the cup, to breathe in the aroma of the coffee, to taste it, to be grateful for this simple opportunity to start the day. This is life, not in the past and not in the future, but in a series of such conscious present moments. Practical advice: practice mindfulness. When you eat, just eat. When you walk, look around, breathe the air, feel the ground under your feet. When you communicate with a loved one, put your phone away and listen with your whole being. Bring your attention back to the present, for it is here and only here that your life happens. Mistake number 4, reacting emotionally rather than responding rationally. You get cut off in traffic and you immediately explode with anger. Your boss makes an unfair remark and resentment overwhelms you for the whole day. You see a post on social media you disagree with and you jump into a furious argument in the comments. These are emotional reactions. They are automatic, instantaneous, and often destructive. Stoics said that between an event, stimulus, and our reaction to it, there is a tiny gap. And it is in this gap that our freedom lies. We cannot control the first impression, the first pang of anger or fear, but we can control whether we consent to this first impression, whether we allow it to escalate into a full-blown destructive emotion. Epictetus taught, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. The key is to act intentionally, not impulsively. This is an incredibly powerful idea. When something happens, you don't need to react immediately. You need to pause, breathe, and analyze the situation. Let's go back to the example with the road. You get cut off. The first thought, the first impression, what an arrogant person. He doesn't respect me. I must punish him! This thought leads to anger, shouting, dangerous maneuvers on the road. What would a Stoic do? He would pause and examine this impression. Did this person really intend to insult me specifically? Maybe he's rushing to the hospital for a sick child. Maybe he's just an inexperienced driver and made a mistake. Even if he is truly arrogant, will my anger make the situation better? Will it make my trip safer? No, my anger will only harm me, raising my blood pressure and spoiling my mood. Seeing the situation from this angle, the Stoic would not react. He would make a rational choice to let the situation go and continue driving calmly, preserving his inner peace. He did not suppress the emotion. He analyzed it and decided not to let it control him. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, wipe out imagination, stop impulse, quench desire, keep the ruling power of the mind in its own power. This does not mean becoming an emotionless robot. It means becoming the master of your inner world, not a slave to fleeting impulses. It is the difference between a conscious response and a blind reaction. Practical advice. Practice the pause. When something happens that causes a strong emotional reaction in you, before saying or doing anything, count to 10. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, what would be the wisest and most rational response to this situation? This simple habit can fundamentally change your life. Mistake number 5, blaming others or circumstances. When something goes wrong in our lives, we have 3 options. The first, easiest, and most popular is to blame others. The project failed because I had a bad team. I can't find a good job because there's a crisis in the country. I have a bad relationship because my partner doesn't understand me. The second option is to blame yourself destructively. I'm a failure. Nothing works out for me. I'm good for nothing. Stoics offer a third path, a path of radical responsibility. They say that it is not events themselves that make us unhappy, but our judgments about those events. And our judgments are the only thing that is completely within our power. Epictetus was categorical on this matter. The sign of an uneducated person is that he blames others for his own misfortunes. He who has begun to educate himself blames himself. He who is completely educated blames neither others nor himself. What does this mean? It means that instead of looking for culprits, a Stoic focuses on their reaction. Yes, perhaps a colleague really let you down and didn't submit their part of the work on time. But your panic, your anger, your despair about it, that is your choice. The external event is one thing. Your internal reaction is quite another. Marcus Aurelius formulated this as a powerful mantra. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. This does not mean that you should tolerate injustice or allow others to treat you badly. It means that you should not give the key to your inner state into someone else's hands. Another person may commit an unjust act, but only you decide whether that act will turn into suffering for you. Imagine you were fired. It's easy to blame the tyrannical boss or a bad economy. This puts you in the position of a victim, helpless and embittered. A Stoic, however, would look at the situation differently. Okay, this event happened. It's beyond my control. What is within my control now? My attitude towards it. I can perceive it as a tragedy or as an opportunity. An opportunity to find a job that suits me better. An opportunity to learn a new skill. An opportunity to reevaluate my career goals. By taking responsibility for your reactions, you transform from a victim into an active participant in your life. Practical advice. When something doesn't go as planned, forbid yourself from playing the who's to blame game. Instead, ask yourself, what in this situation is within my power? What is the most constructive and virtuous step I can take right now? Mistake number 6. Taking everything for granted and not experiencing gratitude. Wake up in the morning. Do you have a roof over your head? Clean water to wash with? Food for breakfast? Can you see, hear, walk? Are there people who love you nearby? Most of us would answer yes to many of these questions, and most of us don't think about it for a second. We take these fundamental blessings for granted. Our attention focuses on what we don't have: a new phone model, a promotion, a vacation in the Maldives. We suffer from scarcity, even while living in abundance. Stoics considered this a serious mistake, leading to eternal dissatisfaction. They developed a powerful exercise to combat this: premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils. But this is not pessimism, as it might seem at first glance. It is an exercise in gratitude. Its essence is to regularly imagine losing what you hold dear. For a moment, imagine you no longer have your home. Imagine you lost your job. Imagine a loved one disappeared from your life. The goal is not to revel in gloomy fantasies. The goal is that, returning to reality, you feel a sharp, piercing gratitude for the fact that you still have all of this. This warm home, this, albeit imperfect job, this living, healthy, loved one by your side. Seneca advised, "Let all your possessions lie before you in such a way that you can not only see but also count them. All this should be loved, but with the thought that we have not received a promise to possess it forever." When you stop taking things for granted, every day turns into a gift. A simple cup of coffee becomes a small miracle. A conversation with a friend, a priceless moment. The opportunity to walk in the park, a privilege. This exercise also prepares us for real losses. Life is changeable, and we will inevitably lose something. He who has mentally reconciled himself to the possibility of loss will face a real blow of fate much more steadfastly than he who believed that his blessings would be with him forever. Practical advice. Every evening before bed, take a few minutes to remember 3 things you are grateful for from the past day. It can be something global or very insignificant: a tasty dinner, a stranger's smile, an interesting conversation. And once a week, try the practice of premeditatio malorum. Mentally take away something valuable from yourself, and then appreciate its presence in your life with renewed vigor. Mistake number 7, avoiding discomfort and difficulties. Our brain is programmed to seek pleasure and avoid pain, and the modern world indulges this instinct. We can order any food without getting off the couch, watch any movie with one click, find the answer to any question in a second. We live in a culture of total comfort, and this makes us weak. We fear difficult conversations. We postpone complex work tasks. We avoid physical exertion because it's hard. We fear criticism and failure. Any discomfort is perceived as something to be avoided at all costs. Stoics looked at difficulties completely differently. For them, discomfort, challenges, and obstacles are not a curse, but a blessing. They are training tools for the soul. They are an opportunity to practice virtue. Just as an athlete goes to the gym to lift heavy weights and become stronger, so a Stoic welcomes life's difficulties to strengthen their character. Marcus Aurelius's famous phrase states, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that the problem itself contains the solution. A difficult conversation is an opportunity to practice courage and honesty. Unfair criticism is an opportunity to practice patience and imperturbability. A complex project is an opportunity to develop perseverance and creativity. Failure is an opportunity to learn a lesson and show resilience. Stoics even practiced voluntary discomfort. Seneca, for example, advised living for a few days a month as if you were poor, eating the simplest food, wearing old clothes, sleeping on a hard floor. Why? First, to understand that poverty is not as terrifying as it seems, and to reduce the fear of it. And second, to appreciate normal comfort much more upon returning to it. Modern analogs of this practice include cold showers in the morning, intermittent fasting, intensive workouts, and learning a complex skill. Anything that takes you out of your comfort zone and teaches your mind and body that you are capable of enduring difficulties. By avoiding discomfort, we become fragile. By embracing it, we become anti-fragile. That is, we don't just withstand blows, but become stronger from them. Practical advice: don't run from discomfort. Every day, do one thing you slightly don't want to do. Start that difficult conversation. Go for a workout when you're lazy. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Start learning that language you've always put off. Make discomfort your ally in building a strong character. So, we have examined 7 traps of thinking that we so often fall into. worrying about the uncontrollable, chasing external things, living in the past or future, impulsive reactions, blaming others, ingratitude, and avoiding discomfort. The philosophy of the Stoics is not just a set of interesting ideas from antiquity. It is a powerful set of tools for navigating the complex modern world. It is a path to gaining inner freedom, freedom from destructive emotions, freedom from the opinions of others, freedom from fear of the future and the burden of the past. It's not about becoming a perfect, unshakable sage overnight. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, wrote his Meditations for himself, reminding himself of these principles every day. It is a lifelong practice. Start small. Choose one of these mistakes that resonates most strongly with you, and for the next week, simply observe yourself. Notice when you fall into it, and try to apply the Stoic tool we talked about. Don't worry about what others will think of you, but focus on being a good person. Pause before responding to a sharp remark. Be grateful for a simple cup of tea. Every such small step is another stone in the foundation of your inner fortress, which no external storms can destroy. Thank you for watching this video to the end. If it was useful and made you think, please like it. It will help more people see it. Write in the comments which of these 7 mistakes you find most relevant in your life and how you are trying to work with it. I would be very interested to read it. And of course, subscribe to the channel to not miss new videos about practical philosophy for a better life. Remember, we cannot control the wind, but we can always adjust our sails. See you next time.